センサーユニット、ソナーシステム同期開始。私の目と耳からは誰も逃れられないわ。
Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the tier 7 Polish destroyer, the Blyskawica. And this is a match that I played rather recently. It was on the day that the Christmas convoy missions ended because I was rushing to do all of them. That's also why I'm not actually using the default Blyskawica camo and why I'm using the camo that gives me more credits because, well, getting 500,000 was necessary for those missions. Because I'm one of the 3 destroyers on our team, I immediately went for one of the cap zones because I do have concealment expert, so my concealment range is not the worst one. On top of that, the enemy team only has 2 destroyers, so capping is rather important, especially if each one of our destroyers on our team goes for each one of the cap zones, because it means that we can definitely get at least one of the cap zones. And, well, it appears one of them went to sea, and the Farragut is over there on this side of the map. So now, 2 things I can do. Because I got kinda lucky here, because I was spotting the Farragut, and because I had concealment expert, the Farragut was not spotting me. So, 2 things that I could have done there. One would be to use smoke preemptively, in case the Farragut comes into range. But because the Farragut was spotted, I guess she started running away. Now I'm gonna try torpedoing that smoke. It might not work out though, because the Farragut was at almost 8 kilometers and this is at the edge of my torpedo range, so I decided not to use it, because she probably just sailed away. And since I already got the cap zone, I'm just going to leave. Now the trouble with my positioning there was that if the Farragut had torpedoed, that might have been dangerous for me, because I don't remember what the Farragut's torpedo range is anymore. But it didn't happen, so I'm fine. I'm going to shoot the North Carolina. I have, if you exclude anybody like that Farragut over there, I can stealth fire from 10.4 kilometers, I believe, and I still have 4 of my smoke screens, so I'm eventually going to use those as well. But the Blyskawica is fairly fast, so even if I fire and get spotted, I can reasonably deal with it. Oh, also, I kind of forgot about it earlier. While this did happen before the latest patch, I'm using, well, I am using now these modules on commander skills on the Blyskawica. You see, I think AFT is very important. In this game, I don't have it because I was taking survivability expert instead. But you see, the shell arcs on the Blyskawica are really good. And you can easily fire past 12 kilometers with her. And you kinda do want it, because while I only have 12 kilometer range, I believe, the problem is that my stealth firing range is 10.4 kilometers, so I only have like a gap of 1.5 kilometers or so. Like, that North Carolina is approaching my maximum range, and if I were to if she goes backwards even more, or I went slightly further away, I couldn't fire at her anymore. So I kind of feel like AFT is necessary on this ship. Or at least it's very, very helpful. It kind of feels like a Khabarovsk situation where you can easily fire further away in regards to the shell arcs than your maximum range allows you to. So, because the North Carolina was too far away, and she is suffering from fires already, I switched to the Bayern. But something is... okay, never mind, that something is the Miyoko. The Miyoko and the Bayern both are spotting me. So I'm gonna go slightly closer, and then I figured that I will just use smokescreen. By the way, if you have priority target here, it would be incredibly useful here. Because if I had priority target, I could tell if I could get a little bit closer than I ended up getting, because I would know whether somebody was actually trying to aim at me, because it takes quite a while for a battleship or a ship like a Miyoko to actually, turn her guns or turn her ship. So she would probably look at me and, point her guns towards me for a moment before it actually even happens. So I keep firing at the North Carolina because I want to get more fires going on her, and I think the Bayern is going to get hit by the torpedoes anyway, or hopefully she is, so I don't want to shoot her for now. Okay, so the North Carolina is gone, so let's shoot the Byron instead. Okay, she's back, so switching back to the North Carolina, and hello Byron. 3 torpedoes. Unfortunately, it only did 31,000 damage, and that actually didn't kill her. Now, the troublesome thing here is that she probably has heal, which means that she might survive for quite a while here. And my smokescreen is dissipating in, I don't know, 15 seconds or so? I know I should really pay more attention to it, but I only really look at the cooldown. So it appears she tried to fire at me, but because it's very difficult to fire at the target in smoke, it didn't really work out. I switched to AP here, but honestly, firing on a Byron, you don't really want to fire AP. Like you see, the damage just isn't there. And unfortunately she gets away, because I just didn't pen. 3 shells did hit, but none of them did damage. You see, you can do this against other battleships, but German ones tend to have very strong upper belt armor, so your AP just is going to do nothing at all. And so I don't recommend using it. But on a Myoko, it's quite alright to fire AP, because you can penetrate her armor fairly well, at least at this kind of range. And that's 2000 damage. And you just saw how fast the Blyskawica is. I just completely outran the prediction of the enemy Myoko. She's turning though, so switching back to HE. Unfortunately, my torpedoes missed. There's a Fiji firing at me, but because I'm running away, she probably isn't much of a threat because I am not angled, or sorry, I am angled towards her, so she can't really easily fire at me. So, I guess I'll fire at the Fiji here for a little bit. I swapped to AP because I can penetrate her decently, or should be able to. But she went behind, oh sorry, she used smokescreen, so she disappeared. And I just got outside of the spotting range of the Bismarck. So she is not spotting me anymore. And I'm gonna just start shelling her with HE to try to get some fires going. I imagine I'm gonna just stop somewhere around here to be able to fire at many enemies and just smoke. I just don't want to be spotted, and I'd like to deal more damage. By the way, both of the enemy destroyers are still alive, so that's pretty well played by them. Notice I've done 80,000 damage already, yet there has been only 1 kill on the whole enemy team. And that one ship that got killed was one that I was firing at as well, although I didn't get it. Okay, so that Bismarck seems to be heading closer to me, which is a good thing, although I do prefer if she weren't coming straight at me. Well, she probably is going to start in a moment. Reason being that, well, a Bismarck has hydroacoustic search, so if she gets within like 5.5 kilometers, yeah, that she will spot me. Oh yeah, by the way, wasn't there a patch that reduced the effectiveness of Bismarck hydro? Is that live? Could somebody tell me in the comments, because I don't know for certain. I would really like to know though. And well, my torpedoes were already completely off the mark, and it appears there is an enemy destroyer in that direction that torpedoed me, so let's do some torpedo beats. I want to call that was calculated. My torps are probably going to miss on the Bismarck, and I'm gonna start moving now. For 2 reasons. One, the Bismarck is getting closer, and her hydro would cover me. I don't remember which one it is though. And second reason being that, well, my smoke is dissipating anyway. And there is Ernst Gede over there. I don't actually know how to pronounce it. Someone told me that that's how you pronounce the name, but I'm not certain. So I'm firing at the Ernst Gede. I'm gonna torpedo her, I think, once my torps are off cooldown, unless I keep doing a lot of damage to her and she doesn't actually fall into smoke. If she doesn't fall into concealment, then I'm just gonna keep firing. If she does, then I'm gonna torpedo and run. I'm running from the Bismarck, so I'm not taking that much damage. By the way, one of the strengths of the Blyskawica is the fact that she has so much HP. 18,300. Well, this is with survivability expert, so it would be 14,300 without it. But for a tier 7, that's a pretty big amount. I think that's almost comparable to the Fletcher. And, you know, her main weakness is just the fact that she has poor rudder shift time. By the way, I'm pretty sure my torpedo is still flooding on the Bismarck. Like, she is still taking damage right now. And because she's not burning, it has to be flooding. Because that torpedo did hit after, you know, she was already on fire. And that's a wither. Very good. And I think the Bismarck is gonna have a very clear ending here. Even if those torpedoes don't reach, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to do 93 damage. Actually, I take that back. I was not able to do 93 damage because somebody else stole my kill. Why do people steal kills? I just don't understand. That's just so rude. So, those are two Graf Speers. I would really like to fight them, but that salvo just hurt so much I am going to just smoke and stop. And I think I would probably be able to deal significant damage to both of them, but it's probably not going to happen though. Because we are at 980 points. And while it would be useful for my teammates if I were to die here, because it would prolong the game and as a result my teammates could get slightly more experience, I am not very interested in dying, so it is what it is and we have won the game. Excellent game, in my opinion. At least it went very well for me. 723,000 credits. I needed 500,000 for the combat mission. 320 shell hits, 8,400 experience. Confederate, Witherer, high caliber, 173,000 damage. 1 solo cap, 12 fires, only 1 ship killed. But I did get the flooding, and I did some nice torpedo hits. Wow! 2,200 base experience, while our number 2 is at 1,300. That's a very good result. 173,000 damage, 61,000 through fires and flooding. Flooding actually did more damage than the 12 fires. And 40,000 damage from torpedoes. 65,000 from the HE. By the way, the reason why the Blyskawica needs concealment expert is that her concealment really isn't good enough to stealth torpedo otherwise, but if you have concealment expert, you can actually stealth torpedo, and the torpedoes are fairly alright. And credits and XP, 670,000 credits profit. Yeah, I enjoyed this match. So, anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, then like it. If you disliked it, then dislike it. And I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, Kablamo, and I hope I see you guys next time.